Hello everyone, my name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, we're going to be going over a haul of stuff I bought in an estate sale. So, a little bit of a background on the origins of this stuff. This Home Depot Wi-Fi better be good enough to watch. But at least you're at the Home Depot, Ari. That's a great place to be. I mean, there's lots of... Well, actually, there's actually no straight lumber there. But there are tools. And actually, Home Depot carries Makita products. And I hope you're having a good day. I hope your week's been going pretty good. So, I have stuff. Way too much stuff. But it's also very cheap stuff because... we have lots of bins. That's because a lot of this is also a lot of bulk. Bro, I wanted one house upgrade, and now we're down $400. Welcome to getting a house upgrade. Makita, my God. Oh, hello, Nichiroka. How you doing? I hope you're having a great day. I know, and also hello, Kiwi. Hello. And I hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday. I had an absolute ball this past weekend, spending a lot of money with all this stuff. So, I have purchased far too much old electronics equipment. And some of what we're going to be doing, like, kind of like, because we're going to be going through all these bins. There's also a couple of materials I have found that I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a really cool project idea. So we're gonna see if I actually get into coming down with a terrible case of playing with electronics art. Not sure how far I'm gonna get into it, but well, with playing with like electronics. But here we're gonna talk about stuff. And actually, let's talk about this first thing, because this will be a project. So, this is one of those, like, industrial lights you see outside buildings. And the cool thing is, this thing is serviceable. So, wait. Oh, wait. No! I gotta grab it this way. And then that should pull off. It's the lock. Unlock. Come on. Play nice with me, aluminum. Thick light. Yes! So now he took that off someone's building? No! Someone else took it off someone's building, and I bought it off the dead guy who took it. But yeah, like, so. There's your actual electrical connection there. And then this is how you actually, like, mount it to something. Now, I can get a grip. I should be able to pull this apart. I pulled it apart. I literally pulled it apart the other day. Am I locking it? Oh, nope. There it is. But yeah. So, nice. Because this is actually machined aluminum. So it's very, like, rust resistant and stuff. And then this part is actual glass, like. So there's like where you stick your bulb in, that fun stuff. But yeah, this is actual glass. I really don't want to break this because, well, there's game plans for this. And my game plan for this is I want to put a red light bulb in this. And then mount this to a board and have a now live light outside my shop. Which I think would be chat-controlled light bulb. Oh no, I don't know enough about coding to do the chat-controlled stuff. Granted, I do watch some real cool people who do a lot of the chat-controlled things. So, and there's actually like these little like balls here. That is what actually, oh, wait. That's actually what locks that in. Then, yeah, but yeah. Industrial light. I spent 25 bucks on this. This was second most expensive thing as a dedicated thing. Where did I stick the most expensive? Oh, it's buried behind boxes. Okay. But yeah. So, this is going to be a project at some point. And I will wire this in with my house electrical. Because I want to have it on the wall outside the shop. And I actually do have a light. Well, I actually have a dimmer light switch for the space on the other side. If I gave Andrew amphetamine and energy drinks, he could crank out the code for that in a few hours. No, don't do that to Andrew. I can't make my problem someone else's. I actually have a conscience, per se. So, going from second most expensive, this is the cheapest thing I purchased. Cheapest single thing I purchased. This was... Actually, wait, nope. Actually, lie. The stack of books over there, the books were 25 cents each. And there's some really cool books. There's like some ultra cool books. But yeah, nice little organizer. This is just generally useful, just generally nice to have. So, but now we'll reach this thing. So, funny enough, part of the reason why I didn't stream on Sunday is I did volunteering on Saturday. Organizer? I hardly know her. Well, yeah, I just embrace absolute chaos. Sometimes. But, so, Saturday morning, I got invited out to do some volunteering, and we were cutting trail. Cutting trail is basically the physical digging work of taking wilderness hillside and turning it into walkable trail. And I didn't... So, I had this water with me, but I looked at this and was like, I don't want to take this much water into the woods with me because this is like a whole gallon of water. Well, the humidity was exceedingly high, and I definitely got to the point where I needed some more fluids, so I purchased this thing. So, this is going to be my going to the woods canteen. When in doubt, bring extra water. Technically true, but I was also in very familiar woods. And I was literally a half-mile walk from my car. Like, I was really close to the car. But I was definitely getting a little bit thirsty towards the end of the project day. And also, I also get real thirsty when I talk a lot. But yeah. So, this is going to be a dedicated trail water bottle for me for when I go into the woods. And also, like, there's something about these old military-style canteens that I just think are cool. Like, aesthetically. It's like Jeeps. Like, Jeeps are cool, even though I will never own a Jeep because I'd rather own a Toyota. And FlashFit, hello, welcome in. Can you test it for lead? Oh, we're not worried about that. We're not worried about lead. There's plenty of other things that will kill me before lead. But yeah, I also really like these, like the clips are like very heavy duty. Oh, there we go. But yeah, very nice. As someone who has a Toyota Jeep, I agree. Well, yeah. I don't want to end up under the bottom of my little lettuce tree. Yes. Oh, you gotta just gotta have just that little bit of lead as a sweetener. Hearing supposedly like how old timers would tell the difference between leaded paint and like actual unleaded paint is they would take the paint chips and they would taste them, and supposedly if the paint chips tasted sweet, it was leaded paint. I'm not eating paint. I am willing for people to say a lot of things about me as a person. I'm not going to be reduced to a paint eater. But yeah, so this was like a $5 thing. And I literally just got that because it was just like, went into the woods. And then it was like, Oh god, I should have brought more water. So, brought more water. I have. Next up, we'll go ahead and get into our first bin, because holy smokes, these bins. Oh dearie. So, this fun little box right here is an electrical relay. Now, funny enough, I use relays in my day job. The relays I use are not quite like these bad boys. I'll actually have to do a little bit more research on how I would actually wire these into something, because I'm familiar with contactors and how they work, but actually working with like these more like actual like industrial controls, very much unfamiliar with. But ooh, okay. But this thing can take 60 amps of current, which, if you don't know anything about electricity, just understand that 60 amps of current is a lot. It is a lot of electricity. Because, like, most of the things in your house are not 60 amps. Like your... Gosh. Most electric stoves are on a 50 amp service, not an... So they will draw close. 1.1 gigawatts. Oh, we're not playing. I don't have access to electricity like that, which is a good thing. It's good that I don't have access to gigawatts of energy. If I had access to that kind of energy, I might get in trouble. And I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah. Great and fun random thing as a woodworker. And one of the few genuinely like woodworking related things I picked up was furniture treatment. And got a fair bit of it too, so totally gonna be using that. And water. Simple reason I'm not cut out to be a streamer is simply because of my hydration needs get very high when I talk a lot. So we have, these are wire tie clips. Hydrate to not die. It's more like have trouble breathing. Well, actually, wait. Having trouble breathing is dying. Dying is not getting oxygen to cells. Yeah. So, some wire ties. Well, not wire ties, but wire clips. These are actually pretty... These are going to be handy for any electrical shenanigans. And then we have a couple interesting, like, bins within bins. Hydration and streaming go hand in hand. All dehydration and streaming, yes. So, funny enough, this bin is keys with their locks. And that's what that's what I primarily had in... I don't know what sort of... I am pretty sure there was a foodstuff originally in this plastic container, and I have no idea what that foodstuff is. I don't think we've been keeping foodstuff in plastic like this since the 90s. But yeah, these key locks, useful. And this is going to be like the theme of going through these bins. It's going to be like, you find something like this, which... This is a YCA part. No, RCA. RCA is Radio Company of America. I am most familiar with their products as VHS players. Which actually, I don't even know. Do kids even know what VHS is? I would like to hope that VHS isn't a dead format. Oh yeah. And we also have an antenna. So a lot of the stuff is going to be mostly themed around radio. I still have VHS. Yay. Fellow old person. Sort of. Okay, what do we get here? Oh yeah. I have no idea how I would tie this into something, but this does the other end is A good old landline. Good landline. Granted, speaking of day-to-day just things, landlines. We all age down here. So, I don't know what this 4-prong would go into, but I'm sure that is. I've got a couple laser discs in the garage. Ooh, laser discs. Landlines, that takes me back. At the screw aisle in Home Depot, why are there so many types? Because they're all useful, because you need to have wood screws, you need to have machine screws, you need to have screws in all different sizes, both in length, but also in the type of head. Yes, shopping for hardware is like that. Oh yeah. Also, one of my favorite things about, like, my favorite thing about so much of this stuff is it's old. It's old, and because it's old, I just think it's cool. But, like, look at that old design. This needs to go into the wall. Why is this so complicated? Because you, Ari, need your screws to go into a wall. I need screws to hold this piece of plywood to that 2x4 for a top for a table saw stand. Old graphic design is peak, yes. But yeah. This is an old speaker. Granted, it looks like it's seen some better days. I'm not sure how much. But we will be seeing plenty of old graphic design, like this. There will be plenty of that. Granted, I also do hope eventually this stuff stops. Because my garage now smells like old person house. Because of all this stuff. And then here, next up is literally powers a cigarette port. I have no idea how I'm going to use that, but I'm sure it's useful for something. Oh yeah, I convinced Andrew to turn a closet into a kiddie bathroom, so we're adding lights, outlet, little cat litter machine, and cat-themed decorations. It's got the oldie scent, yes. But yeah, my bestie, who was going through this stuff a little bit with me earlier, was like, hey, Sugi, this is actually used for a PlayStation 3. And I'm like, dude, you literally bought my PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 was my second to last console. The console after that was the Wii. So I'm actually not... Oh yeah, here we go. And another relay. There's going to be a lot of these bad boys. There's going to be so many of these wonderful old relays. So this takes 250 AC current. Actually, no. It's rated for 115 volt. Bro is ancient. A true relay race. Oh, Ari, man, we've got some ancient stuff here, man. And that's what's cool, is this is ancient. And then we have a crank. That's it. That's literally what this is. And this is how my friend was using it as a fidget spinner. I have no idea how I'm going to use that, but I know I can use it. It says, every man ever. Every man ever. Ooh. So this is a radio thing, because these are radio connectors. And then we also have this copper coil. This coil has 2 contacts to be energized. So I'm presuming this is going to be a advanced oh, okay. So this is actually this is once again another relay. This is a radio relay of all things. So, but yeah, like everything here, old relays, but relays are cool because you can actually do like logic stuff with them. Well, yeah, this was a fun guy. Actually, did I? So this is a battery tester. Makes it a little, yep, there it is. And funny enough, if I remember to have battery, darn it, I thought I had a battery out. because I also like, I do like playing with like electronic gizmos. And since this is one of the gizmos I was actually playing with, yeah, I'm gonna go grab a relay, not a relay. I'm gonna go grab a battery right quick, and we're gonna actually play with that. Woo! Battery acquired. Now, so, fun thing to play with this, there's our contacts. Also, this thing was covered in flux. That's what the yellowish stuff is. So we'll do alligator clip 1. We'll do alligator clip 2. And then we'll have it in our little corner down there. We'll take our battery. And then one of these goes to one terminal in the battery. This one goes to the other terminal. Oh. So it jiggled, but it jiggled the wrong way. I need to flip the battery. So now... Oh. If I can hold it close. There we go. But yeah. It's a battery tester. It works. But yeah, absolutely just got covered in flux, so. Not sure how... I don't know if I'm going to do that, though. There is a part of me that wants to attempt to build a battery rack, and I don't think I should do that. Ooh. Oh yeah. So this is an RX bridge, noise bridge. So you got like little 2 dial settings here. Now, once again, I'm not a radio guy, but I'm presuming one of these is... Okay, so this is your receiver. That's your unknown. And it's powered on 9 volts. So who knows? Maybe I might actually get a little bit more into radio. I doubt that. I don't know if I will become a ham radio guy, but this is... At the end of the day, just cool stuff. Okay. Wow. So this is a coil. So, once again, another relay type thing. But the spade terminals here are connection points, and these connection points are actually the energizer for the coil, and I presume these are your connections for the relay. So if you provide power to the coil, the relay closes and you send power out. Oh no, I'm beaming in late. Hi, Sugi. What did you miss? You've just missed a whole bunch of stuff. Well, not really a whole bunch of stuff. You've missed seeing lots of relays. Granted, there's also plenty of relays. We have tons of relays because we're playing with electrical stuff. And it's also electrical stuff that I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the most knowledgeable on. Okay, sweet! Mr. Spock, you came here at the best time. The best time. Because I know you like being a dangerous guy, talking about dangerous things. But this is the most liquid mercury I have. No railgun parts? Oh, I don't have enough of electrical service to the house for railgun parts, but I do have a vial of... I actually have 2 vials of mercury. So, funny enough, this is a type of technology I'm actually a little bit familiar with. What this is a tilting switch. Sugi's 100% Colombian mercury. Oh, come on. This is made in America mercury, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so these are actually tilt switches. So when you lean it to one side, the mercury breaks the electrical contacts. When you tilt it to the other side, and then when you have it like in the center, it makes contact between the two contacts. Don't break it. I don't want to break this. Like, this is... when me and my buddy were going through this stuff, and I found the mercury, I was like, wait, that is liquid metal. Oh no, it's liquid metal. Because there is only one other metal that is liquid at room temperature, and that's gallium. And I'm 99% sure it's not gallium. Ooh, yeah. So yeah, I have that. And that's just going to be just kind of a thing that exists that I'm not going to play with. But yeah. We have Breaker. Looks like Breaker. We have our good... Granted, I really like the action on this Switch. Really good action on it. Stiff, but then it snaps up. Granted, I don't know what these smaller connections are for. So, that's a thing. We have another one of those small relays there. And once again, another relay. So, I mean... So, for those who don't know what a relay is an electrical component that is basically a switch for electrical applications. Sort of like relays are a lot like wall switches, but they run on electricity. So, you'll have your, like, input legs. Oh, wait, actually, that's cool. So, for these, you can see that copper plate in there. And when that coil gets energized, this comes down and makes contact, and it lets electricity flow. Frank Zappa used to play with mercury as a kid, that's why he got cancer. Yeah, I am not going to be playing with mercury. I think the most dangerous thing I really just like played with was a whole bunch of roofing tar, and that was mostly setting it on fire, and because of ill placement of fire, inhaled a fair bit too many fumes. That was the biggest, oh no, I have effed up. Ooh, okay, that's cute. And some fuses. Actually, I don't know how electrically inclined some of you people are, but these are just standard automotive fuses. So this one, and then they have numbers on them. And then the numbers tell you the amperage which the fuse will blow. So this guy is a 5 amp fuse. We have a 10 amp fuse, and we have a 20 amp fuse. Plastic fire bad, Sugi. Tell it to the Sugi who... You have to tell that to a Sugi 26 years ago. You have to tell it to ancient Sugi. Okay, so that is most of that. Now we have one last thing in our bin. And that is this bad boy. Made in Crediton, Connecticut. Ooh, nice. I used to do mobile electronics for Fridays, so I was always keeping an eye on those. Tinfoil works good if you don't have a fuse. Oh, gosh. But yeah, we have a running time meter that is very old. Granted, I just like I like these old style of displays, you know? These mechanical displays. Just neat. But yeah, it's literally just a thing. You plug it in it, and it keeps the runtime for you. And that is actually the last thing in this bin. Now, let me just give this... So this is also a very solid metal bin, which is good because eventually... Oh yeah, definitely love my analog stuff. Yeah, they just don't make like good analog stuff like anymore, you know? And that's kind of what makes it fun and neat. Now, I'm gotta be, as much as I would love to just like dump the stuff wholesale in here. I also have vials of mercury in there, and I don't want to break the vials of mercury. Any vintage motorcycle parts? I don't think we have vintage motorcycle parts, Mr. Spock, because this is purely electronic stuff. Granted, it's really cool electronic stuff because it's old. And granted, I don't... Like, man, there's just such a thing about, like, when stuff's old, it's inherently cooler than stuff that's not old. So yeah, that's the first bin. The first bin. Yeah. I'm gonna set that down there on the floor because I want a little bit of table space. It's none of that newfangled stuff. Well, I just think it's inherently cool. So now we're gonna be moving. If anyone here is an enthusiast in any way whatsoever for old electronics, these next couple of bins are going to be really something special. Really something special. So this is $3. So, and then in here, I think all you are capacitors. Mica condenser. But yeah, this... or is it resistors? No, these are capacitors. These are indeed... oh, wait, come here, you. Because this is... Club. Yep. These are... old. See, real gun parts. I need a lot more capacitors to make a real gun, Mr. Spock. I need so many more than... But, like, it's this brown, like, early age plastic, which, funny enough, reminds me of something I actually saw in an anime. In Dr. Stone, Senku's radio used an early plastic called Brincrete? I forget the name, because it's been a while since that part of the series, but this looks to be very similar in color to that, to the plastic that he made. Now, these are generally themed around, because, so I'm seeing lots of MFD on these parts. So MFD stands for microfarad, which is basically an electrical thing, and basically means, oh, these are mica capacitors. Well, this one actually, Sangamo mica capacitor. So these old capacitors, really old capacitors. And then, oh, Jerry. Oh, okay. Because we're going to kind of just have a little bit of fun here with old stuff. Here is a collection of old sounds. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at old stuff. Like, I am genuinely curious. Is there still a charge in them? Oh, heavens no. And the capacitors, oh no. No, 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 no. There will not be any charge left in those bad boys. But there is this fun, this thing. So one end of one resistor ties into the lead for another, and then they're carouseled. Which, honestly, that's what I think of when I see this thing. It's just like this drum resistor. It's weird. It's cool. But I'm really curious as to what you would use a resist. Like, I tore electronics apart as a kid because kid bored, kid have tools, and kid do thing with tools. But yeah, these are all resistors. I think that's a flux capacitor. Ooh. Do I have to buy a DeLorean now? Oh, wow, that guy's hollow. Hey, look at that guy. You can just see straight through him. But yeah. Granted, ooh, look. And this guy's got copper on him. That copper stuff is useful. Granted, I think some of these that are built like this, they might be fuses. There might be like a big industrial grade fuse. That's porcelain. Oh, these guys are porcelain. Oh, actually, wait a second. Are these still useful? Question mark? I don't know. So, okay, so do they have a core that you can change out? Because this one looks like it has like a built-in core that some of the other ones don't have. But yeah, this is just really old grade electronics equipment, which it's old, it's cool. Which is basically going to be the words out of my mouth for the better part of the stream. So really fun, very neat stuff. Any amplifier tubes, vintage tubes are big money. Funny enough, he actually did have quite a few vacuum tubes. Brandon, actually, funny enough, this looks to be a resistor. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna presume this guy is something like this guy, but it's a coil. It's a wire wrapped in a coil around. Okay, that might be how these are built. It is a wire around a porcelain tube with taps that then gets a coating, and then that's how it works as a resistor. Thank you. Thank you for telling me about this engineering. I actually have some old vacuum tubes I got from my grandpa's auction. I didn't buy any of this guy's vacuum tubes because he just had boxes of vacuum tubes, and I already bought boxes of stuff. So I was just like, I need to see if there's any like good Actually, wait a second. That was actually something I was meaning to. I did not grab that. Okay, so I did. I actually do have an. I do have an electric meter. Like, I kind of was wanting to kind of fiddle with some of these guys, but for now, I think that's going to be enough of the resistors, especially considering we got to see how they're built, which was cool. Yikes. This is... I don't know. I need to look up the history on this style of resistor, because this is old. This is like... This stuff might have been out of date in the 70s, old. Which, for me, 70s era technology is old technology. I mean, I was born in the 80s. That is old. Which, we're going to kind of talk here later about the thing. So, and now, this is going to be like the... Wait a second. Oh, my cord. I was like, why is not the camera following me? It's Marty McFly. I don't know if I'm Marty McFly. I don't think I'm that cool. But yeah, so this one is all relays. More relays. Granted, I do like the fact that it actually has some of the, like, the clear see-through relays that you can find. And then we also have kind of like some of our more modern style relays where it is a black box with wires poking out. But I do like these guys where you can see the copper coil wrapped in paper. We don't build things like this anymore. Like, just literally do not build things like this anymore. It is... Oh, look at that thing. Oh, you're so adorable. You're so terribly adorable. And then, ooh. And then, now we have a relay with a actual... Wow, paper did not expect... Yeah, this stuff is... This is ancient. From my perspective. And actually, too... Because I'm being very giddy about this, I am going to grab one of those books in that pile from earlier. Because this book is, there is one particular book in here. Yeah. That I really liked. So, and this was probably one of my... This is one of the books that I'm probably the most excited about. And that is this book. It is Radar Electronic Fundamentals, published by the War Department in June of 1944. This is a US government publication on how radar works. This was written and printed within a decade of radar being developed as a technology. Because I believe radar was originally developed in the late 30s, if I remember right. Because radar was... It was really late 30s, if not early, like 1940. So this is like pretty much as close as you get to like original technical literature on how radar actually works. But yes, Mr. Spock, this is World War II era stuff. And just how the lines of like stuff on like the lines of the radio waves, ultra high frequency generators, like this, I have a deep love. I have a deep love of many things, but I love old technical literature. I love stuff that explain... Actually, wait a second. Here we go. This is a bridge rectifier. Early radar was used in England during World War II. Yes. This is Radar Electronic Fundamentals from June 1944. It's actually the 29th of June. It actually tells you the thing, but I really like the note that the owner of this book put on it. And I'm gonna try... Okay, good. That gets you guys an okay-ish idea. So he wrote on the spine, has a good glossary of terms, which is like... I mean, this guy was being introduced to this technology when it was like very, very in the early days of it. So really dope, really cool. A part of me, this is me if I were to get like just come down with absolute stonks of ambition. It would be cool if theoretically I have the parts to build a World War II era radar with period parts. I have not a clue how to do that. Granted, apparently I have the book that tells me how to do that. And I have period parts. Any tractor beam schematics. I have not come across any tractor beam schematics, but like going back to like these relays, like these are paper, like the coils are covered in paper. Like this is how thing. Ooh, wait, what are you? You're a round circle thing. You're a tilting relay or something? Patent. There's a patent date on it. Well, not not a patent date, but there's a patent number on this guy. But just like, but yeah, there's a lot of actually sitting down with Google open and then just like Googling this stuff. Like, oh yeah, yeah, here we go, guys. Here we go. Don't know if you guys can see the texture so well, but this relay has cloth wiring. These wires are cloth wires. That is old. That is so incredibly old to have cloth wiring versus like a more modern relay like what we have over here, where we actually have like actual like plastic for the insulator. Like the fact that some of these relays have like original... Ooh, there's a circle. Are you a display? Nope, you're not a display. You are a relay. Granted, you can also see like the mechanical action on it. But yeah, so... Ooh, okay, so... I have really old parts. I have really old information. I really, really would love to try... If there is a way to build a radar, a World War II era radar with period, if I could do that with period parts, that would be so cool. What can you build with it? Well, so these are, so let's kind of go ahead and kind of take the long view of things. So if we kind of take it back, long view of things. So relays tell electrons where to go, capacitors build up electrons, and then resistors restrict electrons. Each aspect of these three boxes contains components. Taser. Yes, a taser. A taser does need capacitors to build up charge and then eventually discharge it. So, yeah, but these are all different ways. Do I actually... No, do I... Damn it, I don't actually have a control board laying around. Wait, I actually do. Give me a moment, because I actually do want to kind of, like, break this down. Whew, okay. Sorry about that. So, this is a more modern style control board. Now, the parts of a modern control board. All these guys, these tubular guys here, and then their small little friends we have hanging out over here, those are resistors. That's the resistor part of a control board. Now, we have a few of these upright silo guys. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the upright silo guys. The upright silos are capacitors. Then, we have this black box, this black box, this black box. Got some smaller black boxes. These black boxes are relays. And then, of course, you actually have actual chips here. Can you build a transformer? Wait, are we talking like a transformer robot? Because if we're talking like a Transformer robot, no. But my point is, the parts that go into building that, I have these, but I have these in their most primitive form. Because, like, this is a relay. That's a relay. The size difference is very big, but yeah, like, it's a world of difference. But that's kind of like my point here is, like, we have the building blocks for actually building an actual thing. But funny enough, since you actually mentioned a very magic word, Mr. Spock, problem is I really don't want to put weight on that, because maybe tethered drones. Oh gosh. I like how I'm just playing around with this old technology, and it's like, man, let's build a radio or something, or some like small electrical project, and Mr. Spock's like being like, hey, you just need to build like cutting edge tech, what is now considered cutting edge technology, with parts that are that might very well be older than my dad. Well, actually, Dad's dead, but if Dad was alive, Dad'd be like, this stuff is still older than what he would be. But oh, you're a big boy. You're a very big boy. You're a very chunky boy. Actually, we'll leave the chunky boy over there. I want to park you over there. The radar project is fascinating. The radar project would be so much fun. Like, to build a World War II radar with period parts would be the darndest, tootinest, coolest thing ever. But I have to figure out how to build a radar first. And that's a whole can of worms right there. Because I know a okay-ish amount about electrical stuff, but I'm not like super like, I'm not deep in the weeds with the knowledge. You need an oscilloscope thing? Oh, if I need an oscilloscope, that's easy. Like, I'll get a modern one on that, but oh gosh, you're a heavy boy. Very heavy boy. So here you go, Mr. Spock. Here is your power transformer. So, this is a power transformer. It has paper on it. Paper tells you instructions. What the power transformer does is it takes input voltage and transforms it into a different voltage. Transformers can either be what's called a step up transformer, or they can be a step down transformer. This is primarily a step down transformer. And we can look at our instructions. So if we were to use yellow will give us 5 volts at 3 amps. Filament green, yellow, green will get us 6.3 volts at 6 amps. However, though, if we go red, yellow, red, we actually get 350 volts at 200 mA DC. So apparently this can also make DC power, which is very interesting. And what that could power my moped. But what those instructions are referring to is this magic bundle of wires. So these are your line voltage. This is your input voltage. These 2 wires here, black. So this can get wired into straight residential single phase 120 electricity. And then these would be your output voltages, depending on how you wanted to wire them up. So this is old, but it's not. This isn't ancient old. This isn't ancient old. But we've got, oh god. We got one last bin of ancient old. I would need a long extension cord. Where are you? Where are you? So, funny enough, I actually do have... I do have this. Oh, wait. You're talking about an extension cord to power a moped. Nah, but here's a whip. That's what I call this. This is what we at work call that. That is a whip. It's an electrical whip. So, we have some more porcelain things, which... Actually, wait, that is literally the shape for a nice little tap handle. It's literally the perfect shape for a tap handle. Which, making a tap handle out of... Then that's actually just a really old school dial. So we have a magic bag. I need to be careful with the magic bag, because the magic bag needs to get off to the side, because there's actually something pretty cool in the bag, but... And actually, we got this bad boy. So... Well... Mr. Spot. We've got one vacuum tube, which, funny enough... So, oh yeah, the W4AZU, that is the old man's radio station. That was his ham radio station. So, I think a lot of what we have in here is... I don't know. We got some of the resistors. Got some of these, like, really big porcelains. Don't know what those would be used for, but... Oh, wait. Actually, you know what? Speaking of which, speaking of porcelain, I know what this porcelain's used for. I know what these porcelains are for. These porcelains are... These are the knobs and tubes of knob and tube wiring. The earliest version of electrical wiring in the US. Or like anywhere, really. Like, oh, wait. I see an old comb. That's going. That is easy garbage. That is very, very, very easy garbage, but yeah. The knob and tubes are kind of cool. But yeah, this seems to be kind of miscellaneous, but I will go through this eventually and kind of figure out what I want to do with it. Because like resistors, I want to stick with the other resistors. I want to do as much keeping alike with alike with what I got. Now, oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. So this bag is full, and actually what I think these guys are, these are crystals. These are crystals for crystal radios. Because this is specifically a quartz crystal unit, has a serial number and a frequency. But that's what we have here. And I think these are for... I know crystals are used in the modulation of the radio signal, which I'm probably gonna want these, which... Funny enough, I actually really want to look up this one. So we have a high power type CF5. I really want to look this guy up, just because I want to. I really want to figure out what. So let's see here. We'll just type quartz. I can spell quartz. Oh wait. Oh, that's my issue. Got my Q's. Got my G mixed with my Q. So quartz. We'll do quartz crystal units. And we'll do... I'll just do type And I'll input the type code, which this one is C F 5. Oh, there we go. So apparently you can find these bad boys all over eBay. Oh, wow. Same frequency, same company. So apparently it's like a $20 thing, but... Which, funny enough, I could probably make back my money. So much on this, but... I'm not going to make back my money on this, because this is just cool stuff. This is cool old stuff, and I like cool old things. Because I just like old stuff. I don't know what's wrong with me. Probably many things. But we're going to throw that box back there, because it's a little bit on the fragile side. And then we'll just park a big honking transformer over there. Woo, okay. I need to double check my tea here. And I'm nearly out. I think it's that magic time of the day. I think it's the time for one of these bad boys. Oh, hey! Hey, are you gonna hang out for a little while? I hope you hang out for a little while. So I actually have my sister's dog at the house because my sister's going on vacation starting tomorrow. And so I am doing pup sitting. Hey, are you gonna just hang out over there, puppers? I want to show you the chat. Oh, there's the puppers. Puppers! Say hello to chat, Char Char. But yeah, I'm pup sitting. He's a word work because I'm in the shop. And he doesn't like it when I'm in the shop. So, now let's go over to this bad boy. So, those past few bins, really old stuff. Still plenty of old stuff, but we're going from like probably like 40s and 50s old into a little bit more recent. Like we actually got like proper plastic now, but this is just standard cabling for line voltage. This is very firmly in I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not territories, because also remember, always sling your little extra thing through the magic hole. Keeps it together. So we got terminal barrier strips. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what actually was in here. Okay. So we've got switches, guys. Now, for silly electrical projects type stuff, switches are useful. Switches are very useful. And now we actually have these switches too. So what I like about these switches is we have 3 terminals. 3 terminals. What does that do? So there is one position, other side of the position, and then gotta use 2 fingers for it. Middle position. Middle position powers nothing. One position's in this one will send power down this leg, and then turn that on, and that'll be powered down through that leg. So that's just a multi-positional switch, which is cool. I actually have a couple of them. And now here I actually have like one of these style switches, but in a switch box. Wait a second, what are my directions? Oh wait, you're... Oh. Makes good noises. But yeah. There will be playing with these things at some point. Me and the friend a good friend of mine who I went through this stuff with a little bit. Me and him got to work on an arcade cabinet build at some point, and I would love to use one of these old switches as like the on switch for the arcade cab. Like just taking one of those old style switches and just going swink, and then the whole arcade cab lights up. That'd be really cool. Now, getting into here, Panhead. Oh no, not you! Please no. The label's probably right. Oh. The face of evil. The face of frickin' evil. Panhead screws! Ew! I don't like panhead screws. Panhead screws are not good screws. Not my cup of tea. Don't like. I'll probably still keep the screws, but I really don't want to do much with them. And this guy. This was actually a real fun thing that me and my friend spent a fair bit of time trying to figure out what exactly this was. It's actually a locking plug. So you can push it together, give it a turn, and then you can't just like rip the plug out. You literally can't. It's a locking plug, so not sure how I would use that, but it's a neat thing. And then what do we have here? Oh, that's cute. But yeah, more switches. Except these switches are now actually on cords, wires. And then they have like the sort of mounting nuts for them, so yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, wait, are you the spark? Oh, nah. No. You just got good, like, firmness to you. But yeah, more switches. This seems to be generally themed around switches. Oh, yeah! Hope none of you are into stealing copper. Because here we have some good old copper lugs, which, if I were to make a battery bank in my basement, these would be super useful. These would be very, very useful. And then here, I have, these are connectors. I think these are all the same type. Yeah, they're spade terminals. And they're not big spade terminals either. They're small. They're itty bitties. Granted, there's even more itty bitties in there. But yeah, these are just terminals. And that's pretty much what the rest of this box is. Like, I did pawn some of this stuff off on my friend. But yeah, these are just like, these are standard ring terminals. So, just generally useful electrical components. Now these guys, I don't know how I'll use these guys. Just because they're so small, they're so itty bitties. But these are also spade connectors. But these gotta be like 1/8 spade. And in my world, that's a very small electrical connector, so. And that's kind of what this box is. That's what all this is, pretty much. Just various connectors. Ooh. There's just ones with straight metal. No plastic. Are the other ones like this? Yeah. Oh. Connectors. Useful? Not sure how I would use them. Just because of my world. Because in my world, I don't use a lot of... I don't use ones in that size. It's kind of my thing, is the thing there. But the switches are cool. The switches are cool. The switches are nice to have. I am very appreciative to have the switches, and as we get a little bit further along, because thankfully we're getting pretty close to like the halfway mark going through all this stuff. There's lots of stuff I would classify in the classification of bits and bobs. Bits and bobs, but bits and bobs that are useful. Like, the switches are big useful. The locking connector is kind of useful. I have extra lamp cord, which I don't think I'll ever need. Take your beer breaks. But yeah. Still fun, neat stuff. And speaking of fun, neat stuff, this is this bad boy. This guy. So, funny enough, this is the primary. So, I generally do a lot of woodworking around here. At some point, one of these days, I want to do a reclaimed lumber wood project. And this guy is going to be ultra useful for me in that project. So, we have this end has this nice claw here. Got some real nice claw action there. So what this is a nail puller. So you'll have like your... Actually, nah, I'm not feeling that squirrely. But, so how this works is you can, you can have it grip the nail, and then when it pinches, this arm gives you a pivot point to then pull the nail out. So that's how it works in its base level. I thought it was a tooth puller. No. Oh gosh. If a dentist busted this bad boy out on me, I would just run. I'll just die of like having terrible teeth. But this thing also has sliding action. And here's how you use that. Is you'll go ahead, say I have a nail here, but the nail's buried in my wood. So you'll lift the handle up and you'll bring it down, and you can drive the nail puller into the wood, grip the nail, and then pull it out. So I was actually read about one of these bad boys in a reclaimed wood. Well, that's actually what the title of the book is. It's literally called Reclaimed Wood. But, so in reclaiming lumber, this is actually a very common tool to use in that endeavor. So, this was the most expensive thing I purchased. I spent $30 on this. But this was also a tool I've had keeping my eyes out. That's the turn of phrase I was looking for. I was keeping my eyes out for this guy because I didn't have one, and I was planning to eventually someday do a reclaimed wood project, and I needed it. Now I have it. So, I'm excited to have that. Very excited to have that. And we lost a guy, but that's fine. So, this adorable little device. Actually, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen something like this. So, this is actually a inputter for Morse code. So this is the power wires, and this plug has seen much better days. So much better days. But so this is your power into the device, and then we have these two terminals here up top. Let me get these in here and view a bit better. So those two terminals, those are where your wires would connect to send out the Morse code signal. So you just like get your thumb, and then when you bring it down, there's this spot right there. That little spot between those two plates. It is the making and breaking of those electrical contacts that generates the dot dot dash. Well, actually, wait a second. SOS is dot 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 dash 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 dot dot dot. That is SOS in Morse code. Morse code. SOS does not stand for Save Our Ship. Morse code SOS is literally the simplest and easiest thing to send in Morse code. And wouldn't a Zoom call be quicker? Well, yeah, but this is ye olden days technology here. So, hey, that is... But yeah, that's what this is. It's a Morse code sender, which... Not sure if that's something I'll play around with in the future, but that is firmly neat to have. Now, speaking of neat to have, and now this is actually something I will plan to incorporate in... I'm not sure if I'll incorporate it in a project anytime soon, but that is an LED. Well, it's an LED... Oh, I've been drinking beer. But yeah, that's an LED light. Now, this will be our one playing with electricity for today. So, we're going to play with electricity because this is simple, this is easy, and yeah, I just like... Because I did one electrical project. The sleeve of my shirt got caught on my beer. Make some Xmas lights. Oh, Mr. Spock, there's so much better things to be done than Xmas lights. So, let's get our components. So we have our black wire from our cord. That is our hot. So I'm just gonna try to vaguely make a hook out of it, because, well, I'm also not trying to... Oh, wait, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's hooked in there. Wait. Okay. So we're gonna make one electrical connection. Actually, is that sturdy? Nope. Screwdriver's a bit too big on the blade for this. Actually, this is why I have a Phillips over here. There we go. So let me just do the good old tug test. Great. Fast. So I have 2 wires on my light. 1 set of wire. That's in the off position. I'm going to make 1 more connection on the other side of the switch. And then I'll give that a tug test. Great. And then we'll make our 3rd electrical connection. That's what the wire nut's for. And with that, that is a bare bones. I want to try and get the light to in the right spot. Okay. Ooh, I need an extension cord. That's not long enough. do have plenty of extension cord because, well, this is a shop. It is a shop. Plug you in. Yay. Now, I'm going to be making the switch hot. So I got to be very careful to not touch the brass bits. But there we go. You can't, well, actually you can kind of see. Kind of see more towards the end, but that is, yep. It is a simple light. It is the most, it is simple, and best of all, it runs on line voltage. No need for this transformer. But yeah. Simple LED light project. Bashed out in grand total of no time at all. But I have an absolute overflowing abundance of these lights. I have so many of these lights. So there will be a project eventually that will utilize those lights. I'm not sure if I will use them in the arcade build. I actually... okay, yeah. I don't have power to this, so it's safe for touching. Remember, kids, turn your power off when you touch bare electrical contacts. Otherwise, you'll get a really bad case of ouchies. And we don't want that, so. Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious, you're a big boy. You're a really big boy. You're also something that hasn't been seen on stream in forever and a day. Disco lights. Oh man, if only. So, this is my shop blower. So, this bad boy right here was the original blower for my furnace. So, you can kind of see the squirrel cage in there. The little fins. So, when the motor goes roundy round, the blades spin. Actually, wait a second. Oh no, those bearings got a reasonable bit of glide to them. So this is the whip. This is where power comes in. This is power to all the motor windings. It's a PSC style motor. PSC standing for permanent split capacitor. That's the capacitor. And then we have this bank of switches. These switches, correspond to speeds on the motor. So that's one speed, that's a speed, that's a speed. I've got 3 speeds of fan, and then I made a little handle hold. What I would like to do, I would like to incorporate these lights somehow into this, because this was like one of my first early electrical projects that I did on stream. This was the main electrical project I made on stream, and that was before anyone here was watching me. Before anyone was watching me, really. Like I built, like, this build was rig up a turbo supercharger. Mr. Spock, I don't know cars. I'm sorry, man, but I'm not a car guy. I am ultra not a car guy. But I do want to add lights to this, just because I think that'll be a nice effect. Also, my restrictor plate, which is this metal plate right here. So, the full opening of this blower is too much. Because otherwise, if the motor goes roundy around too much, the motor's windings will burn up. And when the motor's windings burn up, the motor's just cooked. So you have to, when you make a shop blower like this out of an old furnace blower, you have to add what's called a restrictor plate. And all it is a piece of metal that provides back pressure against the motor so the motor doesn't cook itself, essentially. But I also use kind of a flimsy piece of metal for that, and it kind of like pings and pops. There's one part of my brain that says I should probably turn this on, but I also realize the blower's also currently pointed at you guys, and I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to blast you with air, because holy smokes does this thing throw air. The last blacksmithing stream I did, I actually had this set up like behind me sort of, and at the end of the stream I turned it on to get the hot air out of the garage, and holy smokes, it worked so incredibly well. But yeah, it's something I want to mess around with, which is, I feel like that's just being a guy in the garage, is just wanting to mess around with things. So we have a tin of switches. Man, these feel resistive. Oh, it seems to be permanently stuck in the on position. Is that all of you guys? Oh, nope. That's got good snap. That's got good snap, so. Switches, generally useful. What we got? What we got? Tubes. Tubes. Not sure what I'll use those for. Also, I'm seeing this. Ooh, wait. That's copper shielding. What do you use copper shielding for? Well, if I can't figure out anything to use this on, well, I certainly know where I'm going to use it, and that's going to be on. That's going to be melting it down. Because that's an... Ooh! And then we have ourselves a nice little spool of audio cable with 2 conductors at 24 gauge. So it... Oh, it's itty bitty! A ground, perhaps? Well, I don't know if that would be a ground, funny enough. Oh, wait, that's not a ground. Oh! Ooh, okay, that's actually kind of... That might be useful. So... terminal taps for a 9-volt, and then hook terminals. Yeah, but this is actually like shielding. Because you see how it's braided like that? Like, this is an actual tube. It's a tube that you run things through. And... not sure what this guy is. Apparently it's K-cell. But yeah, I am really excited about all the lights, though. The lights I will play with. I will play with so many things. And boy, oh boy, I'm glad. Almost half glad I made this a stream, because it is an hour and a half. And we pretty much have went through everything I initially set up on the table saw. But in my best Billy Mays impression. But wait, there's more! So this is the rest of the stuff I bought at this estate sale. So, this is where we're gonna get going next. Oh gosh. Gosh, you're heavy. Okay, let's get in here. Let's take a look. Oh gosh. Camera barely fits over the lip of that box. Okay. So, this was actually a thing that me and my friend spent a fair bit of time trying to figure out. ShamWow. Oh man. ShamWow, that's good. Oh man, that's bringing me back to the good old days. This is a radio mic. This is an articulating radio mic that this guy just took a piece of metal, bent it, rounded the corners, and made it into a stand. This is a mic stand. This is a mic stand. This is a mic in its stand made by some old guy. Now, here's my plug for it. I kind of want to see if I can get an adapter for this and actually turn this into a streaming mic, because that would be funny. Now, there's a lot of stuff I wish to talk about in here, but we're going to get these rulers taken care of first. So, this is cool. This is a wire gauge. So, wire for every purpose from single source. So what this is, this part down here in the center, that is, so there's a scale here. So it goes from like number 3 all the way up to 20 gauge. And you basically put your, actually, yeah, I got wire laying around. Wire. Oh yeah, there's some wire. Broken. Okay. Oh dear. So, we have some of this beefy boy wire, which these conductors are actual, this is actual 6 gauge. Which is a really heavy gauge of wire, because this thickness of wire will carry like up to 60 amps of power, which is a lot of power. But we're gonna just use the ground, and we're gonna find out where our ground lands. And our ground is 11 gauge wire, and that's actually how you use a wire gauge. So, oh, ground grabbed the camera. Don't be grabbing the camera, ground. I'll make you grounded, but that's that's something nice to have. Just having a means to identify various wire gauges. And then here is, this is actually a 16-inch metal ruler, which I don't know why you would need a 16-inch metal ruler, but I now have one, so that's good, I guess. But I don't know what this top scale here is for, but then we also have all these holes, which are different sizes for different things. Honestly, I'm really tempted to use these circles for spacing dowels or something on a woodworking project. Is kind of what I'm thinking about using that for. So, ruler, gauge, generally useful things, generally useful. And generally useful, but not knowing when I'm going to use it is literally the whole theme of this box, because this box is fasteners, which I find fascinating. I'm sorry. Bad pun. But, so we have more of those guys we saw earlier, which, oh yeah, that box is right up by me. Cool, so that box can go right back with those. So, and I do really like these clear cube boxes where you can see what sort of parts you have in them. Like, here we have just a whole slew of copper washers, which, if we were to get into any, like, shenanigans, like, electrical building, we'll probably use some of these guys. Not sure how I'll use them, but I have them, and I can probably use them. Tiny screws. Now, I have not looked through my Gerber formulas, because that's literally, these are all Gerber formula bottles. Ooh, okay, so we have screws with screw blocks. And we have machine screws. Now, this is actually something that will probably be a project at some point. And that will be building a storage rack for all this, because this is not the only box that I have that's like this. This is one box of 2. So, there's a lot of various miscellaneous fasteners here, which... Oh, we got expanding screws. You really want to need, like, stuff for, like, hanging drywall. And we got, like, short panhead screws. Wow. Yeah, and, like, these are just chock full. But you know what, Flashvid? These are sorted and organized miscellaneous fasteners. Which, as a guy like me, I can always use a good miscellaneous fastener for a project, so... And that's what I want to do. And also, I really like the fact that it seems, fasteners for all. Yes. Oh man, that's like the best thing about like estate sales is you can literally just, like, I think the big boxes, they were selling these big boxes for $5 each. So I got all these fasteners for $5, which, I mean, I'm probably already at like $5 in copper. I say that jokingly. I mean, granted, copper's going for a lot right now. Like, I think it's around like $4 a pound. Like, copper's not cheap right now. So we have like lots of copper, and head screws, flat head screws. But I'm just going to kind of go through these guys pretty quick, kind of just familiarize myself with these fasteners. Ooh, washers. Washers are useful. We had, ooh, there's a big old copper lug in there. Like, seriously, like, there's probably like a pound of copper just sitting in this box in fastener form. Oh, man. And then we also have hooks. Which, actually, those are useful. Those hooks are... Nice metal hooks are something I will actually use. Like, the contents of this Gerber jar, I don't know if I'll need it. I bet the copper thieves are sniffing it out now. I don't have to worry about the copper thieves. Because I'm a worse copper thief. Actually, I actually had... Oh, wait, did I put that picture on? I don't think I put that picture on. So, funny enough, my friend's dad was a plumber. And they were going through his dad's stuff. And there was a bin of copper. That is the bin of copper I bought from my friend. Yeah, the copper thieves already... If they could smell my house now, they could already smell it from a gosh darn tootin' mile away. Now, the tubes... I have a nice roll of 3/4 tubing, and then I also have another good roll. Actually, I have a lot more 5/8 tubing. That copper is going to be used for a project. Now, I don't know when I'm building that project. It's probably going to be a fall project, but it will be a project. Because we're going to distill wood eventually. And I don't know when I'm going to make the dry wood distiller, but I will make that. Now, a lot of these fasteners are definitely going to be more of the more mechanical type. Not a lot of, like, wood fasteners. So, the use for me might be a bit low, but hey, if This baby, this Gerber jar of screws and screws, nuts, and washers is all matched to the same size, then that helps me out immensely. Ooh, look, big old washer, and also just various, very small washers. But yeah, like if I ever get, ooh yeah. Actually, speaking of being a copper thief, I don't know why. It's gonna go a long way if they're the same. Yeah, but yeah, there we go. That's some copper thieving copper right there. Which, funny enough, there will be a. I am planning to buy a smelter at some point. I will buy a smelter at some point, and we're gonna do some smelting, but it has to not be hot anymore. I am not smelting copper when it's 90 degrees outside. I cannot get that lid on. How do you get... Damn it. Is this why you should get children? So you can figure out how to open the baby food jars? 90 degrees would be hell. Oh man, after the last blacksmithing stream I did, it was 90 degrees. It was 99 degrees in my garage at the end of that stream. And I was genuinely surprised I took that heat so well. But yeah, these are conductors for... This is for, tube lighting. You can move hot copper, literally. Oh, gosh. These I might get rid of, honestly, because I don't think I would need those, but who knows. That's the problem when you, like, do project stuff, is, like, the instant you think you're not going to use something, a project's going to come along and it's like, man, why did I throw that away? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so those are, like, small wire chases. That's what those are. I was like, what are those things? But yeah. Granted, I'm going to assume he matched these. I certainly hope so. Ooh, some sheet metal screws in there. Yeah. Some sheet metal, a few self-taps. Okay, okay. More panheads, the bane of my existence. Oh yeah. Some Phillips machine. Ooh. Oh, those are rubber isolation washers. I'm excited about that. Oh, plugs. That's what, yeah, those are plugs. No plugs. Neat, neat, neat. Lock washers with some nuts. Okay, okay. We're keeping. Ooh, springs. But for what? I don't know what those springs would be for. Speaking of springs. And yeah. But yeah, just... Ooh. Ooh. That's fun stuff. And then... Oh, okay, so some wire clips. Ah! And yeah. Some rubber isolators, so. A whole entire bin of miscellaneous fasteners for a miscellaneous type of guy. So. But, once again, very exciting. This type of thing is... It's great in the sense that I technically have room to store this stuff. And this stuff will come in handy. And when it comes in handy, I'm going to be like, I'm glad I didn't have to run down to the hardware store to grab some hardware. That is where the value of these bins come through. So that is that bin. Oh god. Ugh. Okay, how do I want to do this? How do I wish to do this? I want to bring this closer to me or what? So, okay, so this is box number 2 of the miscellaneous fasteners routine. So, solder tips, yeah. My buddy told me he found these. But yeah, tips for a soldering iron. I do not own soldering iron, but if I need to get into soldering, I already have a couple tips. So, good to have. And then here we have some nice, like, rubber washers. Nuts with lock washers. So, wait, what's this? Oh, lens cleaning kit. Well, I wear glasses, so good to have. Some miscellaneous there. Like, people who put pennies in frying pans in fiction. Lens cleaning, nice. Well, yeah, I definitely need the... Definitely can use the lens cleaning, but... Ooh. Got some fun little electrical doodads in there. Oh, yeah, this guy. And I'm gonna put this up to the mic so you guys can hear it. But yeah, that's just like a grill lighter. Just a grill lighter laying around. Now, I actually don't know about these bad boys. These are, I think these are machinist blocks, but they have fewer holes than the machinist blocks I'm used to. I don't know. They are heavy, like, I reckon this block of metal probably weighs about 2 pounds. Pretty hefty, pretty good girth. Not sure how I'm going to get around to using those, but that is literally the theme of these. Ooh, labeled washers. Labeled washers, yes. I like it when my parts are labeled. Please label your parts, people. So that way when you die and someone digs... It's from old days when the machinist needed a block that could double as a glove. Is it radioactive? I don't think it's radioactive. I mean... Wait a second. Is that literally just tie downs? That's literally just tie downs. Oh man, we can get rid... Washer? I hardly... I'll see myself out. You don't have to worry about seeing yourself out. You can find the exit out on your own. Okay. I think those are like pins. Oh, okay. So apparently the guy was a Taurus. Keychain holder. Actually, we haven't went through that one. Got another nice little clear box there. So basically repeating the same thing we had as before. I just love how he stuck everything in Gerber jars. Everything he's stuck in Gerber jars. Now, fun thing of my being in other people's houses. So for my job, I go to people's houses and I do work at their houses. It's with me with my espresso jars. And at one individual's house, one of his organization solutions for some of his like shop hardware was to take glass jars, glass, with metal lids like this. He took the lid, zipped a screw into it, into his floor joist. So the glass jar with the fasteners would be hanging in the joists, dangling from the ceiling, with a screw in them. And then if he wanted to get to the things, he just twists the jar out. That's going to be an idea I'm not borrowing. I do not like the idea of having glass jars being held up with just friction. But yeah, I do. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. That is your beat. Oh, yeah. Funny enough, this looks like just a screwdriver, but the end here has a little bit of mushrooming on it. You know, some respect for the grind on how weird that is, though. I guess, but like, man, I don't want that in my house, though. I really... Fasteners Incorporated. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Oh no, we got screwed! Okay, that can be my dad. That can be my dad joke for the evening. So we got some longer screws here. Now we're getting screwed for days. But yeah. Ooh. Okay, so we're definitely getting a little bit more like electrical components out of this guy. Yeah. Rubber isolators. Why does that look like a matchstick? You stuck a singular match with some screws into a jar. Scott, if you can't change the laws of physics, Captain. Ooh, we got a Taster's Choice jar. A little bit different, and also more. Ooh, wait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Look, it's those black flip switches. Yeah! And I got a whole dang jar of those bad boys. Like, the thing is like, so this box was... This was like $5. Yeah, this thing of switches is easily $1. It's $1 worth of this, just in terms of like value to me. Now, there's a huge amount of value in just like having miscellaneous fasteners because, praying you find a pinch in that box. The estate sale for real. I mean, so the best estate sales are the ones where it's run by the family and they're literally just trying to get rid of like their parents' stuff. Like they're literally just trying to get rid of it because they sell the stuff literally for the prices of getting rid of it. And I am really beginning to think that either I'm baby jar challenged, which in my world, I mean, I haven't made any kids, so I haven't used baby jars, so... That's just strips of metal. Okay. Not exactly useless, though. But yeah, like... These... Like... There's something really fun about buying a box of something that you generally know the contents of. Like, I knew I was buying a box of fasteners. And I was like, you know what? That's something that can be useful to me. But I actually didn't know what I was buying until I actually dig through it. So I guess this is also why people are so, like, addicted to gacha. And then this is actually just a bunch of key rings. Not going to show you guys the other side because I like how it's cross-shaped keychain with an advertisement for a funeral home on the other side, and I bought this from an estate sale. So there's something of a bitter irony there. Ooh, wait. Oh, you're rivets. That's what you are. Those are very small rivets. Oh, that's where the person ended up. Well, maybe. Actually, just a bit of scrap wire? Oh, it's a sample pack. It's literally just a sample of wiring. Okay. Gosh, I had a thought. Ooh. Oh. Ooh, I like that. It's little tiny gears. It's tiny gears. I like tiny gears. Then also here we got these bad boys. We got clampy clampies. Once again, I'm not sure how I would use those, but... And then these are... Those are self-adhesive pads, and the adhesive is probably destroyed. So I'll probably might get rid of that. But then we also have like more like rubber isolating components, so... Once again, good box. I really want to do a build where I just... We're going to build an organizer for these jars, because funny enough, I have these two actually, wait a second. I never really showed you guys. Well, you guys can kind of just... So we also have another nice little miscellaneous box of bolts, fasteners with another machinist block thing. So, yeah. But we are going to build an organizer at some point for all this stuff. That will be a woodworking build. I'm not sure how I will incorporate things for the see-through. I do like them, though. I do like being able to glance and kind of see the stuff. Which it would be... Because what I would really like to do for the baby jars is... Say we'll have 3 to 4 inches of board, and then we'll drill a hole, but we won't drill a hole all the way through the board. We'll probably do it like a 1/2 inch through like some 3/4 material, and now give it like a little bit of a place to sit, and it'll just hold the jar there, and then I can just line all these jars up. Oh yeah, okay. Actually, I'm actually gonna go grab... Oh, those see-through containers are so 80s. My dad has those in his old shop. All the plastic yellowed from age, though. Oh, hey, puppers. Oh, nothing like good old yellow plastic. But yeah, I'm gonna also grab... I need to grab another box. So, this box here, I got this. This was stuff I bought at my grandpa's estate sale. Well, actually, he had an auction. And what all this is... So those are tacks for upholstery. So these are upholstery tacks. I also have... Like, this is all upholstery tacks, nails. There goes the puppers. But yeah, that's what all this stuff is. So I will definitely, when we do the build for the baby jars... I'm going to build some space on it for this stuff too, because it would be nice to have a spot where it's like, have all the upholstery tacks and that stuff. Which, once again, I don't know where, when, how, or why I will need upholstery tacks, but I already have them, so I don't have to worry about purchasing anymore. So, maybe that's why us guys just collect old miscellaneous hardware. Ah, fresh beer. Okay. So we have a fuse holder, which I don't really know the purpose of this, other than to maybe hold fuses for testing. But, I don't know. It's a cool. So we got, I think, another side. Granted, this is actually just one side of one of those cord lock things. Oh yeah, this guy. I really like this guy. So, so this is, let's just try and get rid of the glare. This is a cyclotron. Cyclophone? No. Synchrotron. So this is literally just a, so you oh wow. So this is the side for all your contacts, and it has all these dials for, I presume, keeping track of runtime? Ooh. But yeah. Really old school, like old school electrical mechanical technology has a good charm to it. Ooh, speaking of old, actually, wait a second. Oh, industrial timer. That's what it is. It's a really old industrial timer. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to use that. Now, we have ourselves a little box of more little switches. Wonderful little, oh wow, the snap action. Oh, real stiff. Really good. Fun stuff. Now there's this thing. There is this thing. Ooh, oh, wait a second. I think I know what this is. Oh my gosh. This is actually, okay, so this is, yeah, oh my goodness, oh wow, this is, holy smokes, this is actually old forbidden shot glass. Oh, so, funny enough, I actually finally realized what this thing is. This is a manometer. You might be asking, what is a manometer? A manometer is, so this, the reason why you have this staining here is you actually fill this with water, and then you have these hose ports here and here, and you can actually hook this up, and it tells you inches of water column. If wherever, so in my career field, if I'm ever trying to figure out like how much like static pressure is in a ductwork, or if I'm setting like gas manifold pressures, I use a manometer, but I use a digital one. This is a manual manometer. Which, funny enough, I glanced at this and I was just like, oh, this is just like this is like something, whatever. So it's like, who cares about it? But taking a closer look at it and really just seeing like the inches of water column scale. This is a manometer. This is a really old school manometer. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Especially considering the fact that like this is like a really old school version of a tool I use in my job. Like, this is the manual version of that tool. I might actually have to take that into work and show my coworkers, because that's a cool. That is actually a cool. Yeah. I suppose less cool. Ooh, actually no. I actually like the little dial. I like the dial, but as for these bulb components, like these guys for like lamps, honestly, I'm gonna probably chuck these bad boys. I can firmly say that I don't need those. Now you... What are you, a drain stopper? No way. This. Levington. You know what? I don't know what you are, but you plug into lamp cords, so I presume you're lamp related. Which, funny enough, I think that's actually what some of this is. It seems very lamp related, but... Ooh, yes! Oh, that's actually kind of nice. So, this is brass rod. One of the reasons I'm excited about the brass rod is brass rod like this is one of the like fancy ways to hide screw heads in a woodworking project. So I can cut off like small, like 1/4 to 3 to like 1 to 1/8 pieces off this brass rod, and then I can make like little like brass discs that I can put into where the screws went into a woodworking project and kind of clean it up, make it look pretty. Assuming this is solid brass. I think it's solid brass though, because with this guy, well, actually, wait a second. One of the edges felt rough. Yeah, that edge felt a little bit rough. So it should be solid brass, and if it's solid brass, that is definitely what I'm going to use it for. And then we have some other threaded rod. Not really sure. Granted, that is also a coupling, because you have these like tiny like hex screws here and here. That's actually what holds this piece onto this rod, and then you have connector points here and here for the other side. So not sure where I'll use that. But yeah, the brass rod's useful. Brass rod's useful. I like that. But yeah, the switches were nice to get out of that box. But also just the really, this is like ultra cool for me. This is a neato. I need to figure out something to use this for. But having an old industrial. Oh yeah. Percent on and off. Oh, okay, cool. So it even like tells you how much like your thing's been running, like your motor or what have you. But yeah, that's cool. I might take that into work tomorrow. Okay. So we've got one last small box. This is the last of the boxes, and then after this, it is we get to get into the books. Oh, hey, buddy. Are you checking in on me? Or are you just taking a look at the outside world? So, I've got a wire wheel. Wire wheel, useful. Now, what I'm really excited about in here is this gear. Because there's not only do I have, like, this brass gear, I also have... I have not but one, but I have two... I have two chucks, and both chucks are on gearing, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, but who knows? Maybe I can just build my own drill someday. Not sure if I'll get that ambitious, but... Oh, that's actually... It's like a 90-degree angle, so... What you can do with this is that has a key that has a flat edge on it. You can put a bit on this end, and then have this. I presume this end will go into the chuck of your drill, and then you can just like use it as like a 90. So we have bolt, nut. We got some small brass chains. Small brass chains, kind of useful. But yeah, very bits and bobs. We got some metal shafting. Metal shafting I'm going to throw in that box because that box has metal shafting. Eventually I will go through this stuff and kind of sort it. I'm not doing that today because I don't want to bore you all. Oh yeah. So this is an ungrounded outlet. There's no ground. That goes in the garbage. Because if I'm throwing outlets in, I'm going to make sure they're grounded. Or up to... Whoa, hey, look. Speaking of something that might be related to streaming. Mic stand. Well, not a mic stand, but something I can clamp to a shelf. Ooh. Hook with magnet. Archer! You okay? I don't think you're okay. You seem to be a little bit fussy. And then, oh, hey. Speaking of absolutely ungrounded switches, which, funny enough, where was that one I used earlier? Yeah, there it is. Because we can actually do a comparison here. So... Old style of switch has knob, breaks power, switch breaks power. Modern switch has knob, breaks power, but also has ground. This is garbage. Also, I literally have a whole box of these. So I don't need electrical switches. Like, there is certain stuff in old stuff I will find, and I'll just be like, I don't need that because safety reasons, or I will not. I'll just wholesale get rid of it because safety reasons. I know I don't always seem like the most. Oh, hey, that's a spent shell casting. That's at least brass. Okay. Okay. Oh, hey, look. That's a little bit of copper tubing right there. Sure, what I would use? I'd say this copper tubing is best off for the scrap pile. So, we just got a couple of that, and then some other like miscellanea. Hey, look, capacitor. But yeah, so that is that final box. That final box made of wood. I don't know what it is about like gears like this, but I just find like old brass gears super cool. And I kind of just wish I could just buy a whole box of these for cheap, of course. But I'll kind of go through that a bit more and kind of sort it out. So that way I can figure out what's worth my time and what's not worth my time. Because like this is like vaguely useful, and then this is either... This might be useful as a shim, which I think what this might be used for, which... Because I'm looking at that gap, that looks like a really nice gap to have in between drawers. So, okay. Last but not least is going to be the books. And so, I've got kind of dirty hands. And also, my sister's dog's kind of acting weird, so I think he needs to tinkle. So, I'm going to go ahead and hit the BRB screen. So, but yeah. Animals are going to go tinkle, and then we'll look at old books. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Sister's dog had to use the facilities, and when sister's dog does number 2, I'm supposed to give him a poop biscuit, which he basically gets a dog treat. But when he gets dog treats for when he poops, we call it giving him a poop cookie. So he deserved a poop cookie. So I had to do that. But yeah, so we've got the book portion for today. And then once we go through these bad boys, we'll be done. We'll went through all the things, which, holy smokes. Now, there's this, Andrew asks when people get biscuits for pooping. I don't know. It's the thing that my sister's family do for their dog. So this is a project booklet. This is actually something someone made. And so there's a couple of things that I find really cool and fascinating about it. One, it is a personal explanation. Like, someone actually took the time and made wiring diagrams for a personal project. And then this is typewritten out. They typewritten out their whole like project proposal and everything, and then, like, to me that is like incredibly cool, because like this is something that was like it tells you all the parts. Like, there is a parts list, which, as a guy who works with parts lists, and like this being like an electrical part list for like making a converter, like, this is incredibly cool stuff to me, especially when it's like, and then there's also like the construction, and then there's it has steps to follow. Granted, I like how it's like install all resistors and diodes, but yeah, so really, that's what's cool about this, is like this is literally someone's personal pet project. Oh, wow. And then they also had a where to buy reference sheet telling you where to get stuff. Nowadays, we just use, like, that's more direction than my work instructions for manufacturing. Well, back in the good old days, Ari, we had actual instructions. But yeah, like, full-on wiring chart. Like, this is just, like, cool. Like, this purely exists and cool. It is a cool thing that someone from the city I live in made. Granted, that's not the guy who died. The guy who died is a different guy. So now we've got my standard work just says to unalive yourself. I don't know how to how it got approved by document control. I don't know. Always fun, like the most. How do I say this? In the most PG way possible, is like the most asinine of instructions always find a way to get past QC. Like, something always gets past QC. So, and this book is literally, this is just literally 101 ways how to use your voltmeter. That is all this is. It is a guide on using a voltmeter, which, at my old job, I found a misspelling and sent an email to correct it and got denied because someone did not want to work. That's why. But yeah. This is also the same thing, but for using oscilloscopes. But I have this tool. I don't have this tool. Oscilloscopes are very expensive tools. Granted, my electrical meter is also not exactly cheap, but a little bit more reasonable, and also I needed to do my job. And then we also have a primer on waveforms and their oscilloscope displays. Ooh. Oh, look at that 90s. No, whoa, wait, what am I talking about? That's not 90s font. That's like 60s or 50s. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, cool old book that I don't actually technically need because I don't have the tool for it. Then we actually have a dictionary of radio terms, which actually I'm curious about. Oh gosh, the paper. Wait, this is yellow. This is yellow. Ooh. Historic radio terms. For civilian use, stopped by the order of the U. Wait a second. Frequency modulation. Oh, okay, cool. So there's this like really historical radio dates. What I want to find out: disaster-proof value of wireless at sea. Lead to Force invented the Auditron, the Triton tube. Practical horn loudspeakers were developed in 1921. Hastine announces his invention of the neurodetrite circuit. Theater-type vacuum tubes made possible the first all-electric receivers. Dynamic loudspeakers appeared. Let's see. 1936, regular television broadcasts began in London. 1938, regular television broadcasts begin in New York. Frequency modulation broadcasting begins in 1940. And then, so radio production for civilian use stopped by the order of the War Production Board to divert vital materials for military purposes. Huge radio training program got started. That was 1942. Radar and its use as a detection and range-finding device was first announced to the public. That was 1943. Which, coincidentally, is when this book was published. It was 1943. That matters. Because my Radar Electronic Fundamentals, published by the War Department in the 29th of June, 1944. This book is a year older than this book. And this book, and this one here gave me the timetable for when. So, the thought here is, 1943 was when radar was first announced to the public. This book was published in 44. This book was published a year. This is a technical manual on how radar works. Published a year after it was announced to the public. Which makes this book so much more cool and so much more valuable to me because I love old technical literature. Which actually, I want to kind of get into the... So the sections are divided up into Introduction to Radar, Review of Electrical Fundamentals, then we have our sine waves, vacuum tubes and applications, power supply circuits, amplifiers and oscillator circuits, special circuits, cathode ray tube, cathode ray oscilloscope circuits, transmission lines, waveguides, and cavity resonators, ultra high frequency generators, and antennas. So this is literally how to do the radar. So, and also how to work on radar too. Like, and the fact that this guy actually was able to receive this training, and I'm able to kind of absorb it a little bit in a way, but like, I'm doing it through his stuff. Like, it's, I don't know, it's cool, but it's also, ooh, hey, look, chat. Look, it's math. Ooh, look, chapter 10, algebra. Do we like algebra here? I mean, I kind of like algebra, because algebra is basically, it's math, but with variables. I scare my coworkers with math when I don't want to talk to anyone. Oh gosh, that's great. But yeah, it's a book on math. But more importantly, it's a book on math published by the Army in '52. So it's old. It's old math. Now, we have Electrical Fundamentals of DC Current. Now, this was published by the Department of the Army and the Air Force. This was June 1951. And then Alternating Current came out shortly thereafter in December 51. So, my favorite is when I write an equation and ask them to graph it. Oh, that's good. Yep, that's how you tell. That's how you tell a coworker that, hey, I don't want to interact with you. And then we have servicing by signal substitution. Oh dear gosh. When books could... Actually, wait a second. I paid less for this book. It says price is 35 cents. I paid 25 cents for this. Ha! Granted, I'm actually curious about the age, because this is definitely an aged material. Ooh! Wait. You were 43. We got a 1940 book here, boys. Oh, wait a second. No, this is 5th printing. Damn it. It's a 44. It's not that old. Damn it, we're still fighting World War II when this book was printed. Man. Ooh, look at that. I want that. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I don't want to become a ham radio. I thought that said asparagus, but it says apparatus. Well, yeah, back in the good old days when we talk about things as like an apparatus, like not a doodad or a thingamajig, you know? Like, this is before thingamajig. But oh man, there is like a lot of this is going to be stuff that I really want to like kind of like sit down and really absorb. Yeah, about that. My reading backlog is pretty big right now, especially considering the fact I literally just started reading a book on Introduction to Forest Science. And it's like 500 pages of forestry knowledge, and I'm like, ooh boy, 400 pages of forestry knowledge. I really like this. And really like spending some like really deep time with these books is probably gonna be a fair bit down my list of getting things done, but I do want to actually spend some time with these books at some point, because I do kind of want to like, ooh, okay, ooh boy, are you? So we have a copyright of 1935 on common radio term symbols abbreviation. So hell yeah. 1930s era book. I like that. I like my old books. And then this is 1948. Ooh. There was a fancy. Ooh. Oh. Look at the old technology. Look at that 40s era technology. I'd love to get my hands on like something like that. That was actually kind of like one of the downsides of this estate sales. Some of this actual like electronical, like actually still working electronics equipment was actually already purchased / taken by like other people. Ooh, look at that technology. I wish I could say I understood it, but not. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm somewhat fairly electrically inclined, but ooh, wait a second. I wanna wait. There was advertising. There was old advertising. I want to see the advertising. Because it was for the... Oh, yeah, there we go. The new radio handbook. Which, actually, wait a second. Latest publication, Yes! Yes! Okay, cool. So... This is an advertisement for this book I'm holding. Radio Handbook, 14th edition. The new 14th edition Radio Handbook. I have an advertisement, and I have the thing that the thing is advertising. And when these things were made, because this was published in 1948, my grandma was 8 years old when these things were made. So this is literally like, this is everything you need to know about radio. Oh. And sometimes I think of some of the stuff that I get into, and I think it has like deep rabbit holes. Radio definitely has a very, very deep rabbit hole to it. But I can definitely appreciate it. Now, I will say this. With all the old electrical components I have, I would really, really, really like to. This is a really dumb thing. But I would love to consider the idea of a project building a World War II era radar with period accurate components. I think it's going to be a little bit challenging, but that is currently like my big addition, like the big vision project of all this stuff I purchased for either better or worse. So yeah. But yeah, this has been an overview. We also have a manual for RACES, which is the Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service, which this is a manual for ham operators. If something was to happen, this is their service manual to act as communicators in the event of an emergency. And it can be like emergency, like a weather event, a flood event. Dude, the radio is going to be such a cool project. It would be such a cool project. But one, it's ambitious. Two, it's going to be very challenging. I think the first thing I would do is actually build a radio, like an actual, just like a prop, like a radio that just works. It's a radio. It does radio things. Build a radio, but building radar is a little bit more ambitious. But I feel very fortunate to be the person to find this stuff. Funny enough, fun story regarding the books. The people at the guy's kids at the estate auction, when I showed up with the books to purchase them, they were like looking at these books and they were like being like, where did you find these books? And I was like, oh, these books were like in this bookshelf, like next to the guy's project room. And they're like, oh, are we back? Reconnecting? Maybe, possibly. Oh, okay. We're back. Okay, cool. So, but old literature I love. I love old technical things. I'm trying to think what's... Because I got a book on heating and ventilating buildings from 1904. And that's actually relevant to like my trade and stuff like that. So that is immensely cool. So I am above and beyond tickled pink with this. Like the hardware's cool. There's a lot of stuff that's here for cool. That's really cool. I mean, having an actual like thing that can actually send Morse code. Like this is literally just cool to have on a shelf. Like this is just neat. There is so many levels of neat to all this. There are levels of actually useful, like this big butt transformer. Like I might be able to actually use that for something. I have the nail puller, but yeah, this was a haul. There's a lot to go through. We can send poggers over Morse code. Oh no! Oh god, that would actually be a fun chat project. Would be like have a Morse code reader, and if you guys chat in Morse code, it prints out the Morse code, and then I have to read the Morse code. Which, if I was a Twitch streamer, I could probably do that, because actually, I really don't know a lot about chat integration. There's actually a VTuber I follow over on Twitch. YouTube has some API support. Oh, okay. So, man, that's... On one hand, it's like, I really love the idea. But there's gonna be research. There's gonna be so much research. And then I would actually have to learn Morse code. So many materials. Oh, yes. I think Twitch has just more variables you can read from the Twitch chat. Yeah. That's kind of like the thing with like Twitch is like, say, you could spend so many of the like whatever streamer's currency, like, because I know there's like bits, which are like actual kind of sort of like money, and then there's like this stuff you do. YouTube seems to lag behind on Twitch. Well, YouTube, funny enough, the only reason why I can even stream on YouTube is because YouTube started hosting streams just because of how like big Twitch was getting. So, and now granted, the primary reason I stream on YouTube is because like this is the platform I'm comfortable at, and that's pretty much what it amounts to at the end of the day. Is I'm comfortable being on YouTube and I'm comfortable to be here. But the thing is like there's going to be a lot of like research and gathering knowledge. Almost made that program myself back when I streamed. I used a different plugin with OBS to check for certain words in chat to change my VTuber model. Oh, cool. Man, people actually like doing like actual cool VTubing things, and I'm just sitting here being like, hey, I just bought a bunch of old stuff and I think it's cool. Let's talk about it. But man, like, it's really one of those things I want to think about doing, but also it's like another thing of like, man, I'm trying to like grow my skills as a woodworker. It's a matter of like how much I have on my plate. Like the whole reason I didn't stream Sunday was because I physically pushed myself cutting trail, and then I also consumed a lot of beer while making beer because I spent Saturday afternoon brewing a batch of Oktoberfest beer. So I have that brewing right now, which is nice. But I was also like dog tired by the end of Saturday. Yeah, don't go too crazy. You already have a dope setup. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing all right. Like at the end of the day, I kind of, how do I want to word this? Because my primary motivation is to, I have two goals as a content creator. Goal 1 is to get better at things I wish to get better at. Goal 2 is to make the content that I myself want to watch. And I find myself in the position of, okay, so I am doing stuff I want to watch, but it's also a direction that really not a lot of other people go in, which is the double-edged sword of people don't know this necessarily already exists, but how did I word this with like in the context of like other streamers? Other streamers are trying to stand out from the pack because they're doing both. They're like, gaming streamers are kind of doing the same thing, but they're all doing like their own little different spin on it. Whereas me, I'm just trying to go like hog wild and like a direction that no one else is going in. But people also just don't know what that exists, which it's fine. It's fine. I mean, really, like, things have been pretty like good here on the channel for this year. Silly goober direction. Yes. It's like, hey, I'm a VTuber. Let's go outside. Let's go have some fun out there in the wildlands. Which I still need to do a hiking stream at some point. Which I will probably do my initial vision for that stream where it's like I record a hike on the GoPro. And then I do the hike. And then I just replay the video, and then I just treat it as like a react stream, but also like explain the various natures I encounter. Because I know a lot of plants. I know a lot of plants. And I also think it would be a lot of fun to like do some nature interpretation, because I actually like, unlike all this, I have a background in it. Like, this is like, I have a somewhat general understanding of how electronics work, and this is like taking it far like in a much like deeper direction. So chances are this is probably gonna just kind of like hang out for a while. You know what? I do... Damn it, I do hate... I like challenging myself, but I hate doing it, so I feel like I can say what I am about to say. And that is, between now and next year, I will build a radio myself. I know a radio is not a hard thing to do, but you know what? I'm also a woodworker, so I kind of think it would be fun to like actually build a wooden shell for a radio. And then it's like, okay, we've built the wood shell for the radio. Now let's actually build the radio. And I think that would actually be fun. Like, I would Yes. I would like to do that, but in order for me to do that, I would need more time in my life, which I don't really have the most abundant amount of free time in my life, but that's just how life goes sometimes, though. So so relatable for real, man. I just have so many like interests and like ways I wish to like immerse myself and like grow as a person, but it's also like I only have so much time in the world, so I am pretty committed to my woodworking. Like woodworking is like really like high up there with like the priorities I want to do. Admittedly, brewing streams are honestly me flexing on stuff I already know, which I still need to make mead at some point this year. That has to happen. So yeah, there's a lot of things that need to happen, but also a lot of ways to grow and develop. And there's there's also ways of like laying a foundation for growing and developing. Like this radio handbook, this is a reference material. This is a beautiful piece of reference material. I paid 25 cents for it. Dirt cheap. Which is like the good thing with estate sales is, and that's another thing why I was willing to buy all this is stuff you really only get, like, I actually was talking about this with my friend. This is probably one of a very few number of times in my life I will even get a chance to buy stuff like this. And that's why I spent about $130, which funny enough, the top 3 things I spent the most money on. Oh, wait. You. Come here. Ugh. There we go. You can't. Damn it, you can't see the nail puller anymore. The nail puller, the light, and this were the 3 most expensive things. This was $30, that was $25, this was $20. I spent most of my money on these 3 things, which were admittedly, which alcohol is made out of potatoes? Could use some from your harvest. Aw, I'd rather fry my potatoes, really. Like fried potato. So and I will show this on stream on Thursday, is I will add mirin when I'm frying the potatoes, and that adds such a sweet and savory direction to fried potatoes. There's been a couple of times I've made potatoes, stir-fried potatoes, and it was near religious experience and deliciousness, and it was just stir-fried potatoes. But I don't think I seem to get lucky or not on whether or not that happens, but hey, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that will be Thursday stream, so yeah, let's go ahead and kind of get wrapped up, because but yeah, also getting to your question, vodka is made out of potatoes. Vodka is the alcohol made out of potatoes. I don't have that option technically, because vodka is made with distilling, and distilling is a government no-no. Mostly because the government taxes distilled spirits. Oh, for some reason I thought that was mead. No, mead's made from honey. Mead's made from honey. So, yeah. So, lots of neat stuff. Lots of great stuff to nerd about. This will be a project. We'll probably make a radio at some point. And there's some stuff here that'll be very useful for some like other future projects. Like some of this wire might be useful for some things. Like eventually at some point I actually do want to make an arcade cab at some point. And then this nail puller, this will be useful if I ever get my hands on some reclaimed lumber. because it's gonna have nails, and I'm gonna have to get the nails out of it. But that's a whole other that's a whole other thing. There's so many things, so little time. But hey, you know what? I am contributing to my retirement account, so eventually there'll be more time for fun things. But yeah, so let's see. Honestly, I think we might just wrap things up for today. Yeah, I'll just wrap things up for today, because that's just what I want to do. So, tomorrow at 7, I'm going to be on Akira's Uchiba's channel. He's going to be doing a birthday stream. He's going to be doing a whole bunch of things. I think he's going to be doing a Handcam cooking thing, but he's also going to have a whole bunch of guests on. I'm going to be on. The Nando will be there. There's be a couple of other retirement VTuber would be hilarious. Oh gosh. Oh man, just imagine the streams that would happen when a bunch of retired weebs are just like making VTuber content together. That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. Oh, poggers are trying to find the stream. Let's see. I'm going to copy. So that's his channel. So I will be on there tomorrow at 7 p.m. my time zone, Eastern Standard Time. And I will, depending on how my day goes tomorrow, I'll probably be in this chat. So, but I'll also be working on getting ready for the potato harvest stream, because I have to yeet all these materials out of my garage and make room for 6 containers of potatoes. So, but yeah, thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in today. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.